Thank you very much. Straight over to Niranjan Hiranandani, who joins us now. No one better than him to actually outline what's going on with Mumbai's roads, connectivity and transportation system. Niranjan Hiranandani, very clear established correlation between the creation of housing stock, the affordability of housing stock and connectivity in Mumbai is simply crumbling. I don't have any other words to use for the delayed projects and the cost of it to ordinary citizens. Forget about the developers. Right now I'm only focusing on people like me.
Manisha, I tell you, Nikhil has really put the nail on the head. The infrastructure projects which have been put up over here have been pending forever. So I think what we are hoping and expecting that whatever is the new government that we get really takes this off very quickly, because whatever delays have taken place, the quality of life is not bad. It's horrendous, because you know the metro was needed badly and the connectivities which have happened and come about are grossly inadequate for the future. So I think the east-west connectivity, we need other ones, Goregaon Mulund to be added to the list of things which he has put up. And also we need the Pinjal River project to bring water supply as an increment level into the this area. But most important of all is we've been hearing about these projects forever. Whether it's the Navi Mumbai Airport, Cross Harbour Bridge which had been bid and cross-bid and whatever it is and all, I think what we need is somebody to take these off the ground very quickly if quality of life is to improve. Well, luckily, one plus point on the two manifestos that I read of the Shiv Sena and BJP, 3 out of these 5 projects are put into their manifesto. So hopefully if they follow the manifesto, we will have them off the ground.
All right, Sanjay, are you actually that hopeful? You know, just the delays. What is it about Mumbai? Why do projects take so long to get executed? I'm telling you, I have, you know, Mumbaikars look down upon Delhiites, and that of course includes Gurgaon as well. But they are actually envious of the infrastructure which is pathetically inadequate in NCR, but they still are. That's the only place that NCR probably scores over MMR. What's going on?
Yes. So, you know, I have a very different perspective of the issues in Bombay. So this is a 22 million population city against Gurgaon, which is going to be a big city in the times to come, but right now it's not so dense, but still has a great infrastructure. Interestingly enough, for some strange reasons, all this lack of infrastructure, except what left by the Britishers, a mass transport system bringing north to south connectivity, but it was okay back in 1970s when Nariman Point Fort and Balad Estate, Cuff Parade was the CBD and everybody worked there and had to commute northwards to live. But now the city has grown, you know, towards east and continues to grow towards Panvel and Kalamboli and Dombivli, and the population is also growing in Thana district, Raigad, Pune district is also moving towards Mumbai. So really the scale of the problem is quite huge, and for some strange reason it seems to be benefiting everybody. So developers are increasing prices, landowners are increasing pricing of the land, because if you're in the city, you want to be closer to the place and strategic locations, and it's more expensive. Because you don't want to go further north and east because infrastructure is very poor, so you don't mind paying a premium for the apartment if you live closer. And just in case if you can't afford it, just go and create a slum of your own, and then government will give you 300 square feet carpet area after a few years, and you will get a free home, by the way, for that slum that you will also occupy. So this is a great city. Everybody is making money, and therefore nobody is complaining, because the values have gone up, slum owners have gone up, developers are coming in exploiting those opportunities abundantly, and you know everybody is maximizing. And then as a consumer, by the way, you discover that 20, 40 or 100,000 square feet that you pay for the apartment, you get only 50% as carpet area for that property. So you're paying double the value than compared to any other city, and yet this city thrives, continues to grow. I think it's just the services sector, the scale of the financial services sector, the pharmaceutical sector, you know, the telecom sector, the many other, the top conglomerates, which are global organizations, which includes Birlas, Tatas. 65 to 70% of the globe revenue actually comes from international operations being headquartered here, TCS being headquartered here. When they all bring that capital back into the Mumbai balance sheet, and therefore you collect the best, income tax collection of the country again here, which continues to do, it's a staggering scale. And all that basically one, Worli ceiling over last 20 years, few bridges here and there. You go on Western Express Highway, you can take a bump and come up every, 1 kilometer, and there are about 30 bridges all the way to Dahisar. So it's a remarkable place, and therefore the scale of the problem is just huge. And once again, you need a very charismatic, driven, committed leader who actually brings everything together and leads the city. Otherwise, the city is going to head, in a different direction, because corporate is going to lose out eventually. People will not be able to sustain themselves eventually. The life will become miserable, and they will stop paying all that premium that they've been so far willing to pay.
Wow. I didn't even feel like interjecting or butting in, Sanjay, because literally I think we should just put that YouTube video, that just your speech on YouTube to sum up what Mumbai is all about. Look at the spirit of Mumbai, because there's nothing coming their way, and yet everybody is still chugging along and happily. All right.
This is the city. I come from Delhi, and I've lived here for 18 years. It's a city which has given me prosperity, and I would like to give this city something, but it's just a struggle.
It's a huge struggle. Mr. Mohanty, I mean, way out Gurgaon versus MMR. I know the sizes are very different, but then there is a real danger, and people are talking about it, of businesses actually moving out of Mumbai. That's what made Mumbai thrive, and that's probably, migration has already stopped. The population of Mumbai is not increasing. There are obvious reasons which have been spelled out. Business also getting lost to that city, which is known as a financial capital. A real danger?
I exactly am not a Mumbaikar, so I cannot exactly figure out what keeps Mumbai moving. But I can surely figure out what are the roadblocks and bottlenecks, which is today is creating a real roadblock for further progress or improving the quality of life here. The first and foremost, if you from a very infrastructure construction line or a developer line you talk about, today any infrastructure company in Mumbai spending more resources, energy and time and managing the ground situation rather than really focusing on technology and construction work. So that takes away your energy and cost and makes the whole challenging situation more and more challenging. Second thing is, today there is nothing per se called a regulator in Bombay in any of the sectors you talk about. I take a recent example of we are talking for quite long the Pedar Road flyover. It was talked about for 10 years. It was bidded. Somebody become L1. Even to get a LOI on a L1 was almost like a manufacturing an atom bomb almost. So and the project never saw the day of the light. So this is the level of governance and regulation in the in a place like Mumbai, which is supposed to be the financial capital of the country. So there is a lot more expected as far as governance, regulation, guidelines, policies, transparency are concerned. Today this is looking to be the most difficult place, being the financial capital of the country, to transact business here. So everything is there is in an unwritten law. So these are the things we are not able to address it,
right,
especially in three things: on governance issues, the planning issues and the regulation issues. I am thinking to control a city or a metro like Mumbai will be extremely difficult from time to come.
Good Lord, we can't be writing off Mumbai city as of now. Sanjeev Rai, I mean, happier that you had to set up a rapid metro in Gurgaon and not in any part of MMR?
Well, since you asked,
I mean, Island FS is also headquartered there.
Incidentally, we actually bid for the Mumbai Line 1.
You did?
Didn't win it, and then we won the rapid metro, and that's what we built. But the fact remains that, I mean, I'm hearing everything about Mumbai. I grew up as a young boy in Mumbai, but that was a long time back. Gurgaon, honestly, is providing the kind of support, at least in our business, that is required. Otherwise, we would not complete the project in 3 years.
Okay.
And it continues to provide the support because it recognizes that if they don't provide the support, no investor will come back to Gurgaon. So I think there is a appreciation. And then of course, Manisha, there are the difficulties, it goes without saying, so everything is not hunky-dory. You have to struggle with local level people.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it's a
still an
struggle,
easier
but you
city to
deliver.
do
I mean, you have to
business.
deliver at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And like Pranav said, they've been there for 30 years, so they've delivered plenty of projects, and we delivered something in the last 4 or 5 years. And you know, you have to appreciate that what they did for you, you know, help you to
Okay.
complete the project.
So you have to deliver. I think that's the crux of it. You're talking about smart cities, but what about the two biggest cities, Mumbai and Gurgaon? I'm going to come back and take our panelists' view on what needs to be done by the new leaders at the helm post-election. What are some of the critical areas they need to look at immediately on assuming power, because really none of these cities can afford to wait anymore. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. The buzzword of the Modi government is smart cities. But what about the existing and largest commercial cities of India, Gurgaon and Mumbai, both of which have a long road to cover on providing its citizens roads, transportation and connectivity anywhere close to the best cities globally. Niranjan Hiranandani, I know you have never been a big defender. In fact, you have said it as it is. You love Mumbai, love MMR, yet there are big problems. Just lay out an agenda for the new government. We'll have one in just a few weeks from now. What should they be doing?
I think it's very simple. First of all, I think we need to create four or five smart cities just outside Mumbai. One will be the Panvel, where we have the Navi Mumbai airport, where I think we will have a residential hub which will be created. We have next to that the Alibag area, which will be connected by the Trans Harbour Bridge, which will be actually the hospitality and the recreational area city outside Mumbai. Then we have the Kalyan Karjat Khandala area towards Pune, which will be the industrial belt. And then we have the ending of the Delhi Mumbai corridor, which ends in the Jawaharlal Nehru port, which also will be the industrial corridor to expand. So around Mumbai, you're going to see at least 3 or 4 more smart cities coming up along with the Navi Mumbai airport, which is going to make a great difference with the new government, making the bridges cross harbour, making the Navi Mumbai airport, creating the metro and a connectivity between Mumbai and Pune, which will be expedited by maybe a bullet train.
Okay.
So I think we look forward to a change in the MMR, which is going to provide affordable housing with infrastructure, and this will create a new township. They have already announced NAINA, which is the Navi Mumbai Airport Influence Zone Authority across CITCO,
Okay.
which is going to be an area which is bigger than Mumbai in terms of an area which they want to take up for development as a new city. It's already announced, it is already gazetted, but it's up to the new government to take it forward.
Okay,
So I
very straight
think
question.
Mumbai
Very
has
straight
a
question. Will
great
it help,
future
Mr.
in spite of
Hiranandani?
the bad past that we had.
Mr. Hiranandani, will it help to have a government
sorry?
which is aligned to the central government's thinking in the state of Maharashtra? Do you think that's going to be a better bet for Maharashtra and Mumbai specifically?
Yes, of course, that will help, but I think the government in the state itself can take a lot of decisions which will help. But if it is aligned to the central government, I think it will make a lot of difference. But all in all, many of these projects could be standalone separately from the whole thing, but an alignment could make it faster and speedier. Yes, it will.
Okay, fair enough. Pranav sir, what are you looking forward to?
You know, I think Gurgaon has become a very important place for Haryana, and Haryana elections are just on the corner. So I think it's very, very important that whichever government comes into Haryana, first thing they will focus on is on infrastructure, because the growth and success of Gurgaon and all the economic activity that has happened there over the last couple of years, infrastructure is a major thrust area. For Haryana, whoever comes to power, the main city they talk about is Gurgaon. Everything rotates around Gurgaon. So they are very, very clear on this, and they understand the importance of infrastructure. And if you see the master plan of 2031, which is for Gurgaon. It has, in terms of infrastructure, it's as global as it gets.
Okay.
It's got 90-meter roads, it's got wide roads, it's got
And
the metro.
all of it can be done.
It all has to be done. They just have to start implementing. So I think the new government, whoever comes in, will definitely has that in mind and is going to take it forward, because the maximum growth around Delhi NCR is still happening in Gurgaon.
All right.
So I think that they all understand that.
Okay, fair enough. There's Mumbaikars face the constant danger of losing the title of financial capital to Gurgaon. So really it's up to the two state governments to make sure that the race actually stays competitive and healthy, and we see some of those big infrastructure initiatives which do make everything, commercial real estate and housing real estate, possible. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Pranav Ansal, Sanjeev Rai, thanks for joining me here in the Delhi studio. From Mumbai, Niranjan Hiranandani, Sanjay Dutt and Kishore Kumar Mohanty, thanks very much for being here. We can only hope that while the government at the centre recognizes the urgent need for road and connectivity infrastructure, the new state governments which will actually govern the implementation in the two key cities we discussed today, Gurgaon and Mumbai region, also get their act together, and very soon. Thanks for joining and goodbye.